Hey there folks, and welcome back to the Asita Campaign. Last time, we got started with a lengthy introduction to this brand new Bronze Age Reborn campaign, and talked about our starting situation at great length. We also did some political shenanigans, getting our government set up, and getting ourselves a claim on our neighbor, Warsti, whose name is easy to say, unlike Asita or Asita. I'll probably continue to say the name incorrectly and change how I pronounce it every single time. That's just part of the fun. Even our heritage has a different name, so we're just all over the place with this campaign. But the energy is good, and we're going to proceed. Now, we're going to go ahead and continue doing our opening setup, as there's a lot more to do even still. So let's continue going through all of our tabs and just attending to all the various things we need to deal with. I do want to note as well that our current heir is our elder son, Ilimbelli. Nothing too surprising there. And we're also getting, by the way, our spouses higher finesse and higher charisma. Very nice stuff. In terms of our modifiers on the national level from our stats, 6 marshals giving us 6% manpower recovery speed and 6% army morale recovery, while 4 zeal is giving us only minus 0.04 monthly war exhaustion and plus 0.04 monthly stab change. So that stab change is a little less good than it could be, but this is okay. With our spouse giving us her very good 8 finesse for 8% build cost reduction and 16% commerce income, and 9 charisma is giving us 1.80 claim fabrication speed and minus 0.09 monthly tyranny. Alright, very good. As for our laws, we could change one of our laws, either our succession law or our reform law. We could go down to mercenary contract law. I don't really think it makes sense to, as the mercenary army maintenance and recruit mercenary cost bonuses here are not as good as the 5% levy size multiplier and the cohort starting experience, particularly the levy size multiplier. Now, there's an argument for actually going for military service, which requires Law 1 from our CivTech system. This won't allow legions, but it will give us 5% integrated culture happiness for happier Ossitans. And more importantly, it will also give us, where is my thing here, an additional 2.50% levy size multiplier, which will increase the strength of our army. Now, our starting levy is 3 cohorts, so you can already see the no minimum levy sizes mod in effect here. Our neighbor, Warsti, by the way, compared to our 30 pops, has 21 pops. They're also of Ossitan culture. So we should outnumber them on the battlefield. They were probably going to have either 2 or 3 cohorts, and they're going to be led by the 3 Marshal Pija Matarhu. So this should be more than doable. Although with the morale advantages they're going to have, I'm a little concerned, although my discipline bonuses I just got from my Pantheon may help. Keep in mind, they also probably have the same Pantheon and may also have the discipline bonus, so it may not actually be much of a bonus either way. It may just be us catching back up with them. Either way, we don't necessarily have a catastrophically unwinnable war ahead of us here with our neighbor. But having said that, I do think it would be worthwhile to get military service. I think this is probably the best early game military reform law that we can have, as we're not going to be able to have access to Royal Guard and Legions until we have Law 2 and regional power status, which is a ways away. Keep in mind, as a local power, we have, because we have less than 40 territories, we will eventually get to 40 territories, though not for a while. And I didn't mention this before, but we have a bunch of modifiers as a local power. We can join defensive leagues, and we can have alliances. We also have build cost minus 10%, province loyalty minus 0.02, in unintegrated culture group happiness of minus 2%, and integrated culture group happiness of 2%, AE decay minus 0.05%, integration speed plus 0.10, monthly wages plus 7.50%, 1 diplomatic relation by default, minus 10% Merc Army Maintenance, 10% Dip Range by default, and 1 Merc Slot by default. So, very standard stuff. Right, so this is going to require Law 1, and I do think I will use one of my CivTech points to get Law 1, specifically to get that modifier. Plus, National Citizen Happiness 5% from having King's Justice, and Loyalty of Characters plus 5, kind of a nice bonus to get early on. So let's go ahead and grab just that with Law Progress. Okay, let's go ahead and immediately shift back over here and spend some of our limited stability and PI on grabbing military service. This will count for the tick when we raise our... If we raise our levy on February 1st, we have to wait until February 1st to declare war anyways, because of this game's 1-month truce when the game starts. So that's perfectly fine. And there's no real problem with having to wait a little bit to get launched, as we're going to have a larger levy multiplier. May or may not make a difference. We may not actually have a fourth cohort from this, because we don't have that much pop anyways. But I do think it is a worthwhile thing to get in advance. So, the privileged cultures in our kingdom are given many privileges and enjoy representation in government. In return, they are obligated to all do military service when the state so requires. In return for their service, any soldier will receive an allotment of land to support them. Alright, this is our big early game expenditure on stability. We are now not spending any more stability on anything, and I definitely won't go back on that whenever I find something that costs stability that I want. We will deal with that later. So, that's perfectly fine. We also now have 2.09 PI per month. It's recalculated. Very good. Okay. Now, I actually did calculate up, so that's pretty good. In fact, I might actually raise my levy now, because I'm worried on the monthly ticket's going to recalculate back down to 3. It's a genuine concern, and I think I will go ahead with that in mind, and increase army maintenance preemptively for the extra 10% morale. This will, on top of our idea, put us at, assuming that the AI doesn't increase their pay and doesn't grab martial ethos, this will actually make us even with them, so that's going to be quite nice. Let's lower our... Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's lower our fleet maintenance. And as for our starting navy, I don't really think I need these ships for anything, but I will go ahead and keep them anyways, because I will eventually want a navy, mostly for transport purposes, to move around on the coastline. It will be a lot faster than schlepping along on the ground, but I will just keep them in my port, not being paid for, and not having an admiral assigned, because then you have to pay the admiral. No reason to worry about that. That's perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and call this, though, the first navy Asita. Alright. Okay, and let's go ahead and raise our levy preemptively, just so we have all 4 cohorts in play. Raise them, I guess, just at Nati. This will also allow them to recover on the tick, led by Ukara in the field. Go ahead and reorganize them for the first tick here. And yeah, pretty standard stuff. No chariots yet, that's perfectly fine. Skirmishers in front, archers in the back, I guess that's okay. Alright. Now, continuing along. We already looked at our economy screen here. No need to mess with any of the rest of this, I don't think. I want to keep this stuff as it stands. Now, I could go for harsh taxation to get some slave output, as I don't really need a lot of research at the moment, but I do want to... is it worth it to even care about this? I don't really have enough slaves to make it worthwhile, so let's leave it for now. And then for commerce, we'll just leave it in the middle to get the extra import route. Speaking of which, actually I'll do the import routes at the end. We've done our religion stuff already. As I mentioned in the first episode, there's no holy sites at the start of this game. Culture-wise, the Ossitan culture is spread around this area here. Essentially, the nation we're about to attack, Warsti, is also Ossitan, as is actually Zarzuti up here in this valley. And there's a bit of uncolonized land around here that we can also colonize to get more Ossitans as well. Now, north of us is the mountainous nation of Tulahit, who is also Ossitan. So there's a lot of population for us to conquer and to expand out to with colonization to get even more Ossitan peoples. And I may even do some colonization, particularly to get territory to border Tulahit so I can get a claim on them. Although I think I can just get a claim on them as it stands anyways. No, actually, I cannot. This is why... Look, I am the Imperator Rome contemplator. I am thinking about this at all times. Every second of the day, my brain has a portion of its energy thinking about Imperator Rome strategies, because I unconscious, like, the inner depth of my unconscious mind, like my super ego thought of, you need to have a connection to Tulahit in order to fabricate a claim. I didn't even consciously think about it, and I'm already making these plans. So we probably want to go ahead and colonize Adahija in order to border Tulahit to then fabricate on them later, although we will probably get a claim on them from our mission, which we will address in just a moment. But I do want to border them anyways in order to get that claim for sure. Although, yeah, also the number of pops are in. Where's my pop map mode? Here it is. Let's see. 5 and 1, so let's see. That's 5, that's 6, that's 4, that's 4, that's 4. That's not uncolonized. Okay, so yeah, okay, so this is also the largest tile available. So let's go ahead and colonize this I should have actually done this prior to raising my levy. That may have been a micro mistake. Also, do I have the PI to do this, actually, is the other question. I probably do. It may not have been a micro mistake, because this will probably give me a 5th raisable cohort. Let me think about this for a moment. Let me think about this. I do want to also shift out of neutral stance. This costs 5 in Bronze Age, that's right. I think I do have enough PI. Let me go ahead and just do this now. Let's go ahead and colonize Adahija. It'll be 20 political influence and 250 manpower. As I mentioned in the first episode, I've reduced the amount of manpower needed from 750 to 250, and this will get this under our control. Also, we'll gain a freeman in Adahija for free, and it gains 1 year of colonization progress. Monthly civ change plus 0.50%, which is very brisk. So that's a 6% civ gain in Adahija once the year is up. But during the year, freeman, slave, and tribesman output is really badly nerfed by 60%. And we also give Tula Hit a claim on this tile because it borders them. All right. Actually didn't give me an extra. I'm actually glad it didn't, because I would have felt really annoyed if I made a mistake like that. But fortunately, micro mistakes are it's in the name. They're micro mistakes. They're not major mistakes. Okay, let's save the rest of our PI here and go back over, change our stance from neutral stance, which I don't think is going to be necessary for me. I'm planning to hopefully fight Warsti with no one allying them, although I may need to pick up an ally just to be safe. Either way, I'm going to shift off of neutral stance, probably straight to mercantile. This is my go-to stance most of the time. I think in this case it is still the best way to go. Mostly for the diplomatic bonus with all of my neighbors. Being able to have good relations with people helps you access their trade goods as well. And the commerce income from the 25% there, very handy. Mercantile diplomatic stance means that all efforts are focused on making new trade deals as well as increasing the profitability of existing ones. Alright, that should improve our economy a little bit. We don't really have much commerce right now, but it will get better later. Okay, having done that, I know I'm bouncing around here. That all looks fine. Incidentally, by the way, in terms of traditions, I have the South Luwian and the West Luwian traditions. Let's see what we have here. Anything super interesting. These are mostly going to be various combat bonuses. National citizen desired ratio of 5% from Kizilwatan Pottery and citizen output 6%. That's pretty crazy. That's going to stack really well additively with our heritage, so that is one to keep an eye on. We also get the ability to get great ships from this. That's interesting. 10% national commerce income and 4 innovations from that. That's really strong. Okay, 5% discipline from that. Pretty solid stuff. This is really, really important for getting maxed out citizen desired ratio later on. Over in West Luwian traditions, let's see. We get a bunch of freemen. That's really amazing. Pop simulation speed 10%. That's going to completely fix our heritage, on top of adding more to it as well. National fort infrastructure capacity 3. Wow, that's a really crazy bonus to get from a tradition, because this means every single province has 3 more fort capacity. If you don't know how fort capacity works, I don't blame you. It's a very weird system, and I have been confused by it in the past. Essentially, this isn't the number of forts per province, it's rather the number of fort infrastructure points per province. And in a province, the first fort, I believe it costs 3 fort infrastructure. In fact, I can show you here. Yeah, the first fort uses 3 points, and then each subsequent fort uses 1 more point. And essentially, exceeding the number of fort capacity points in a province increases the fort maintenance cost quite a bit. And so if I want to fortify a lot in the same province, having a higher fort capacity is critical to save my economy from the skyrocketing and kind of escalating fort maintenance costs, because all of your forts increasing their maintenance costs, especially in the late game when you have a lot of forts all over the place, really just kind of exponentially reduces your overall economic power as your forts cost so much. So this modifier, where am I going? National fort infrastructure capacity plus 3 across the board basically means I can have forts all over the place. This is a crazy bonus, although it's mostly going to be helpful later on when I really am dealing with the fort infrastructure capacity system. Okay. These traditions are cooking for sure, so I'm on board so far. Levy size multiplier 2.50% down here is really good, although it's very late in the game. Cavalry skirmish unlocked from that. Okay. Morale of armies 5%. Okay. That is pretty good. Alright, no need for any mercenaries. We shouldn't need this. I'm a little underwhelmed by the 2 cohorts of this mercenary force here. Hopefully this grows over time, because merc forces do grow over time. Although the model does look very cool. Look at this guy. Yeah, look at that. 10 Marshal is also really good for having that available to us if we need it. Okay, we've changed our stance already. Do we pick up an ally? Warsty may ally with somebody near them, and I could ally with Zarazuti just in case, but if they ally with Warsty as well, which they might, then they would join Warsty in a defensive call against my offensive call. I could ally with Tulahit to keep them off my back. They are technically, well, actually not anymore actually, because we have additional population. They might attack me, and they probably would while I'm preoccupied. I could ally with them just to keep them from attacking me, which may work, and they will probably join the war against Warsty as long as I do the alliance right now. I will need to backstab them to fight them later, but I can't fight in all directions at the same time, and this is probably a good person to ally with so that they don't attack me while I'm fighting Warsty, and possibly Zarzuti. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's offer an alliance to Tulahit strategically. Alright, we have an alliance with them, and we can now make use of them on February 1st. We'll break this alliance after we've beaten Warsty. At this point, actually, if Warsty... Also, what's Tulahit's leader? 8 Marshal. Okay, that's a bit of an annoyance because that means that their levy can take over my force if they were joined with me. But I think the greater strategic need to keep Tulahit from attacking me is actually worthwhile. Could have alternatively allied with someone like Tatawis, or I could have rolled the dice with a Zarzuti alliance, but I actually would like Warsty to maybe ally with Zarzuti, and so I can fight them both at the same time. We'll come back to that later and see what we need to do there. Now, as for the families, we looked at this briefly, but there's 4 great families here. The Takias family, which I'm playing as. This is the royal family of my nation. Asita, I should say. Let's give me a second one. Maybe not? Okay. We also got the Harsiotid family, led by Kuturi Harsiots. The Alarid family, led by Temeti Alaris. And we've got the Phileid family, led by Tarahuziti Phileid. Alright. Okay, now over in the missions, let's go ahead and start the matter of West Tarsus, rather Taros. Our fortunes await in foreign lands. The West Taros region has been considered part of our borders, yet much of it remains beyond our control. Make sure it is brought under our influence one way or another. This mission will be considered complete when the entire region of West Taros is under Asatan influence. Start mission. Consult the court. This gives us claims on Malati, Upper Melas, and Lower Melas. Well, I know Upper Melas is up here, which we now have a presence in as well. Lower Melas is here, and then Malati is over here. So we're going to get our claim on Zarazuti in a year, if nothing else. Oh, this is perfect. Settle Lower Melas. That's my capital province. I actually would like to have cities over here. Develop and supply. This is the perfect province to pick for that thing there. Okay, very nice. Great. So lastly, let's go ahead and head on over to our CivTech and our innovations, and then we'll do our trade routes and start playing the game finally. Now we've gotten Law Progress 1. What else would I like for my final CivTech expenditure? I think a pretty likely one that I'll go for is trade developments to get the extra import routes and the 100% diplomatic range. This will give me access to more trade goods, and I'll be able to trade in more trade goods with the extra routes. Alternatively, palatial development for the same 100% dip range, and being able to build a palace in my capital, which itself will actually give me more trade routes and other strong bonuses. Palaces are a very powerful building. Where is it in the list here? Here it is. You can see what it does there. Local tax 30%, pop capacity plus 10, territory, provincial loyalty plus 0.10, although for this province that won't matter. Local import routes plus 2, and local civ level plus 5%. So that's, and So this would allow us to build the palace. We won't have the money for it for a while. I think getting more trade routes is probably more important, also to get our commerce economy going, but let's look at the other options as well while we're thinking about it. City administration for desired citizen ratio in cities will later on be huge for our citizen stacking plans, but for now, not going to make a huge difference. We didn't grab the ideas, or we didn't plan around getting the ideas, so we're not going to worry about bureaucracy, although the civ level bonus is of course not bad. National tax, 10% and 5% country civ level, both very strong bonuses, although not game-changing early on. Military structure for the garrison building, which we can build to improve our city's defensiveness, plus 20% fort defense. This will offset my ruler's fort defense malice. And morale of armies 5% with the plus 5% army maintenance costs. This might be necessary just to address the fact that we're probably still going to be lagging behind the morale of our enemies. It may be necessary to grab this because of that. Or centralized irrigation, 25% reduction to the farming settlement bill cost, and 10% pop capacity everywhere, but also 5% reduced to national manpower. I think it's going to come down to whether I want trade missions or military structure. I want trade missions, but I might need military structure. Let me take a look at my available trade routes. Now, we can reach some people, but not lots of people. And incidentally, in my starting province here, I've got grain, bricks, earthenware, and stone. Okay, stone locally is amazing. That's going to make things a lot easier for me. What do we have over here? Furs, more grain, and wood. Okay, where's the stone at? It's up here. Yeah, Pata is probably going to be a mine for sure. So we can have stone locally at all times. As for what we could reach with our current reach, I don't know what we can't reach, essentially. We have to get the thing in order to see it. But we can grab double livestock for the pop promotion bonus right away. This will help improve the number of higher ranked pops in our tiles, which is going to be nice. But how much pop promotion is even going to happen right now? What's our ratios like at the moment? We actually are demoting the number of citizens we have in Asita. We are promoting up to nobles, though. What about out here? Yeah, these guys are all promoting up at least one citizen or so. It's okay. We don't have a lot of amazing options here. But then again, another 100% range would give us more options to work with. For example, if we could get double fish for the Freeman happiness or double fruit for the loyalty, we could be cooking with gas. That being said, I live in fear of very hard difficulty and the morale asymmetry, so fortified garrisons is probably going to have to be what we go for. I know it's boring, but this is what the morale arms race looks like in practice. So, fortified garrisons it is. Alright, 5% extra morale of armies, and the 20% fort defense certainly doesn't hurt. And we can now also build garrison buildings if we have the money for it, which we don't. 50% local fort defense is actually kind of a crazy bonus, by the way, but you know, that is fine. We can also change our governor policies, by the way, although we're going to do this in just a moment after we take a look at our inventions. Now, as for what we can grab with our trade routes, I think we probably just want to go ahead and grab, let's see, double livestock would give us the pop promotion bonuses, but it may be worthwhile to snag saffron so we can lock down the saffron trade. Saffron's kind of rare, and getting the saffron surplus later on would be quite nice. Plus, local slave output isn't bad, but there's also some other good options, such as limestone, local tax, and build time once we get the surplus. We can probably get... Oh, this is actually from Tule. That's interesting. Yeah. There's going to be fish all over the place. We probably don't need to lock down the fish too badly. No, it's cedar. Not going to be too helpful. I think, honestly, let me just go ahead and get double livestock. Let me trade with people further away. Yeah, let's trade with the Mirans. Trade with some livestock. And let's trade with the Sahans. Alright. Now we got double livestock for the pop promotion bonus. And let's go ahead and grab saffron as our last item here, I think. Yeah. My game crash? Hold on. My game may have crashed. It's frozen. Oh, my mouse died. Yeah. Also, the music is... Okay, I'm very not smart. The music is still going, so my game definitely didn't crash. My mouse just died. I was about to say. What was that? Okay, hopefully this didn't mess up my recording. Alright. Plug this thing in. There we go. Okay. Where was I? Get the saffron. I'll have to trade with someone sort of nearby, Kazawatna. Actually, this is Tarsa, technically. But they are a Kazawatna nation. Okay. There we go. Hopefully, I think my recording is still fine. Alright, back to it. Let's see here. As for my inventions, I only have 4. So I need to use these inventions real precisely. And I probably... It's hard to justify not going straight for professional training. Now, I normally would beeline straight for hypocost and for town criers. And going for this would also let me grab centralized committees to save on the PI cost of governor policy change. But on very hard difficulty, I could also go for discipline from that. But that being said, I just already raised. This would be 10 discipline I'd be missing out on if I didn't go for this. Oh man, I really want the PI, but I think with my PI micro that I've done here, I can probably get away with not grabbing some of the stuff that I would normally get right away. I think I need to min-max my military stuff as much as I can. Let's go for military artisans. Guilds of artisans employed by the military ensure that innovation is passed down to those deserving and provide a hotbed of scholarly thought by which our progress flourishes. 1 for your province investment, which will probably end up meaning 1 more trade good for my capital, and reducing the military province investment cost by 10% for the rest of the game. Alright, next up, let's grab basic training. 2.50% starting experience. I should have done this before I raised my levy, but I didn't think about this because I don't normally go for military techs right away. Providing new recruits with the most basic of training may at least let them survive the first few swings. Next up, active drill for 5% discipline. Armies in the field would benefit from continued drill even up to the very eve of battle. Lastly, I will be going for professional training. Discipline 5% and minus 0.50% experience decay for my units. By relying only on the most skilled tutors, we can cut down on the time it takes to produce adequately informed fighting men. Alright, we should now have a pretty substantial discipline bonus. We should have 16.35% discipline, assuming that the AI doesn't do what I just did. I guess we'll see once we get into combat here. Let's see here. It's only going to show up in battle, I think. I think discipline is just for battle. Okay. Alright, I think with that, we've actually gone ahead and finally finished our setup for this campaign. 1.5 hours to do that, but here we are. And yeah, let's go ahead and get going. On speed 2, we begin. Okay, let's keep an eye on Warsteed and see if they pick up an ally. If they ally with Zarazuti, that's fine. Me and my ally should be able to handle them. Actually, hold on before I say that too. Oh, these guys just colonized this. That means they are now going to be a target because this is my province, but we'll be getting a claim on them. This is actually good. We're gonna get a claim on them because they're now in the Lower Melis province in 1 year, so that is perfectly fine. 10 martial on this guy. Okay, maybe my ally having high martial isn't actually so bad. It's a little alarming to be sure. The matter of West Tadas. The region of West Tadas has remained a valuable source of trade and commerce for our nation for many long years. Many amongst the court insist that such a bountiful land would serve much better purpose if fully integrated under the Asitan banner. Of course, as with all matters of state, many are in opposition, claiming that a healthy relationship with their neighbors is far more important than a wanton land grab. The leaders of each side have presented their arguments and asked for an arbitration as to which methods would be more appropriate in our dealings with the various states resident in West Tadas. We long for friendship and cooperation. I will be going for the friendship and cooperation approach. I think this is a better modifier than the war one. Here we go. We have barbs rising up, by the way. They rose up in my capital. Okay, that's not exactly where I thought they'd be, but we'll come back to that in just a moment. Okay. What kind of barbs are you? You are Asita barbs. I don't want you to actually siege my capital. You know what? Does this work for me? They might actually prevent the enemy from sieging my capital. Was this the luckiest barb spawn in the history of the world? I think it might just have been. Okay. I can pay this guy off. How much? Actually, can I? How much is he going to take? Oh, this guy's cheap. 10 gold. My goodness. All right, so let's just go ahead and leave them there. That's really strange. I don't have any idea why I have barbs spawning on my capital city. I guess barbs... Oh, you know what? I've got barb power in all of the tiles here. Is this on purpose? This feels like an oversight. I guess we actually have barb spawns not in impassable terrain, but just in the terrain directly around here. That's interesting, and this is just something over here. Here in this province up here. Yeah, some of these seem like they might be mistakes, but... Okay, we've got barbs rising up from our own countryside, but they're our population, which means they can actually... I can just offer for them to resettle in my land, or let them, like, raise my land and then resettle themselves to get more population that way. This is actually not that bad. I am on board with this situation, to be completely honest. Okay, speaking of things I'm on board with, Warsti has no allies, which means this should be a very straightforward fight. Let's call in Tulahit just to keep them on sides. I guess what I could do is not call them in. I don't think I need Tulahit to do this fight. And I can call them in if Warsti gets an ally and calls them in to even the scale. I just need Tulahit to not attack me. So I think we're going to be completely okay not calling in Tulahit, to be completely honest. Let's go ahead and go for Malati and declare war. Declaring war is sometimes the last resort of diplomacy. The act of declaring war will reduce the view other countries have of you. I don't care. Okay, we're not going to call in Tulahit at this time. We're going to go ahead and march towards Warsti, led by our king, Ukura. This all looks fine. Allow attachment. Okay. Also, Okay, it's not a pirate haven. I was wondering if it might be, but it's not. That's completely fine. I'll just leave the barbs here for now. No need to worry about them. I can just pay them off if they succeed in the siege. But yeah, this is an interesting development. I wasn't really expecting this to happen, but you know, Imperator Rome does still surprise me sometimes. Right, this is all fine. Let's proceed. Although first, let me check and see economy-wise. Let's check and see if there's any additional trade routes that have opened up. Oh, one more saffron. Okay, this is why I check things like this. Inexplicably, Tarsa wants to sell their one remaining saffron. I will happily trade pop promotion speed for ruler popularity gain plus 0.05. That's going to help a lot in keeping our popularity from collapsing. Okay, I'm on board with that. Anything else? Oh, you know what? Something I didn't do. This was a micro mistake. I didn't change my governor policy. Actually, civ change is not that bad, to be completely honest. Because this will also help counteract the barb. Did I accidentally keep the best policy that I actually would want here? I think I might have, to be honest. I don't need to assimilate or convert. Extra money or output would be fine, but I also don't need to promote that badly right now. I don't have enough population for it. But what the civ level thing will be doing... Let me take a look here. Barbarian power reduces civ change by itself, so this helps counteract that. And it's reducing because of civ value. So I think actually having... But then again, do I actually... Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to keep the civ level going. I mean, the idea of having barbs that I intentionally allow to raise to get more population is a very interesting strategy, but one that I think will be a little unreliable. I have no control over barb spawning. It just happens randomly, as we see here. So yeah, we'll leave it as is. I also forgot to start my free investment. That was actually a genuine micro mistake. I might actually go for the city building slot one, to be completely honest. I have a lot of buildings I can possibly build and only a few city slots, and one's already being used up by the port. Yeah. I don't have access to enough roots yet for this to be worthwhile. So let me go for the religious endowments for the city building slot, which will later be helpful. Plus I'll have 3 cities here as part of my mission, so that's good as well. I will have the money to build cities later, too, as well. We'll get there. Make religious endowments. Alright. Local city building slots. Let's go for it. Well... yeah, I think this will be more useful in the early game than business investments, to be completely honest. Alright. Let's resume. On speed 2. Alright, where's their army? Not raised. Will they raise their army in time? Apparently not. Okay, that's interesting. They just didn't raise their army. I guess they could raise them outside their capital, but... well, I guess we get started here. They also have partial garrison. Can I win an assault here? Probably not. I don't think I'll win an assault here with the numbers I currently have. Although, if I do the assault now and then I lower and re-raise, I can probably fight Tarzuti. Probably. I think I'm going to attack Tatewas last of the various opening enemies that I'll have, because then I'll be dealing with assimilation stuff over here. And then very quickly I'll be reaching wrong culture group, Lucans. I don't think we're going to win this. We're going to have good progression because they have a low garrison. Let's just enjoy... oh, there's their force there. Okay, yeah, they're not going to be able to do anything because my fort is already under siege by barbarians. Because life is funny like that. Okay, very good. 50 for Divine Sacrifice. We're not getting there for a while. I should try to run Divine Sacrifice almost at all times, but for now at least I can't. I just don't have the PI for that. Also, if I don't do a... food shortage. This is... if I get a breach, I'll do an assault for sure. I can also... will this guy cost more to pay off later? Oh, it's already... oh, wow, okay. I missed my shot. He's now way more expensive to pay off. Although I can still definitely afford this. I can't keep him here for a full year, so he won't be part of my later wars unless I get attacked by someone. I mean, I guess technically, does Tatuus? They don't have to claim on me. Yeah. So that's not going to happen, or it's unlikely to happen. I've never seen the AI do a no CB war, at least not often. I think I may have seen it once, but I don't think I remember seeing it directly. It might be possible, basically, what I'm saying. I'm not confident I can win this assault. I think that's the key thing. It's not just about the manpower. I don't think I can win the assault, so let's just leave it as it is and continue. I'll just do the siege manually, and then I'll go and kill the barbs in my capital. This guy will take that, that's fine. Maybe he'll try to attack the barbs. That'd be nice if he did that, but no guarantees that that would happen. If the barbs get a breach, or if they get really lucky, I'll just pay them off and have them leave. Supply shortage, okay. They're just gonna siege all my stuff, that's fine. Food shortage, okay. So far so good. We're in a siege race with a barbarian horde, oddly enough. I never think I've seen this situation happen, but here we are. Sounding out the opposition, debate has raged for many years over our rocky relationship with the nation-states resident in West Taras. Tulahit, a nation many in Asita call a friend, stands well placed to provide us with assistance in our endeavors to control West Taras. Many of our more warlike advisors, however, seem intent on burning all bridges and laying waste to Tulahit land in an effort to further advance our cause. We must maintain a benevolent image. Alright, Tulahit surely appreciates that. Alright, show me a breach. Supply shortage, I'll take that. Don't show me a breach over here. Okay, supply shortage. That's fine. By the way, I'm saving my PI to do Divine Sacrifices once I have 50. Show me a breach. Supply shortage, that's fine. Don't show me a breach up here, please. Food shortage, not great, but I think we're okay. This would be a great time to get an early siege win right here. Wow, okay, look at that. My siege luck is starting off strong here. The sacking of Warsti. Ukara, the first Takes, led his men to glorious victory during the siege of Warsti. The enemy flee in disgrace, and all that is left is to decide on how to treat the residents within. Needless to say, these spoils of war like the Akazos back in Asita to admire Ukara greatly, but leaving such men in the hands of one man could cause problems in the future. Now, this is why I didn't want to have an ally with me here, because I want to control how this sack happens. Specifically, I don't want this to be a serious sack. These are Occitan pops in an Occitan city, in a good Occitan city location. This is a riverside coastal farmland with a port location, and it's already a city, and it already has a fort. Warsti is not going to be demoted by any means whatsoever, so let the looting be gentle. Minimize the losses, please. And at this point, we can, I think, just go ahead and take this fight to them. Now, they do have more morale than me, of course, despite all the efforts I've made. They've got increased pay going on, so yeah. But we need to get to our capital to save the people of Astia from, or rather, Asita from the barbarian horde. So let's march back as quick as we can here. They're gonna run. This should be a stack wipe, hopefully. Can't afford to be delayed by a long battle. We got places to be. 2nd of August. Cults sanctioned. Our financial encouragement of the local cults in the province of Lower Melis has led to the renovation of old shrines and construction of new. Delighting the gods delights the people. This is my religious complexes thing coming to a conclusion. Alright, there's the stack wipe, Battle of Huiwanas. Alright. That is a really bad roll right there. Did they get a breach? No. Okay, they have very, yeah, barbs don't tend to have amazing morale, and they probably don't have a lot of discipline. So let's just power in here and free Asita from the barbarian menace. We're gonna arrive just in the nick of time. Look at this. Saving the day, I hope. We're gonna defending, so this river crossing is wrong. That's not actually going to happen. 24th of August, here we come. And I will end the war now. That's not going to affect this at all. Sue for peace. Okay, I'll just be taking this territory directly. Warsitin, Malati to Asita. Here we go. 2 AE, that's perfectly fine. Okay. I already have 0.54 war exhaustion. Holy moly. Having your capital siege is no joke. Alright. The Luwian local power of Warsti accepts our generous peace offer. The Warsitan elite, or rather the Warstian elite, after a protracted conquest, we have finally routed the Warstian armies and laid waste to their lands. During the sacking of their capital, many important prisoners were taken, many of them having previously held important positions in the Warstian court. They now languish in our dungeons, awaiting whatever fate we decide to impose upon them. I'm going to be imprisoning their leaders, letting the rest disappear. Losing 3 popularity, that's completely fine. I will make a lot of money from this, and I guess I'll just do this now. Let's go ahead and do some selling. Alright, 13 gold for 0.5 tyranny, that's definitely worthwhile. How about you? Wow, okay, another do some valuable prisoners right here. Okay. 7.5. I've got plenty of tyranny room, to be honest. I'm just going to go ahead and agree to this as well. No need to be... Okay, I was going to say no need to be stingy, but I'm going to be stingy here. Under 5 gold is not worth it, so let's just go ahead and release this prisoner. I will sell you, though. I'll sell you, and I'll sell you. That should be everybody. That is everybody. Okay, and then in our new territories here, no buildings, and we've got the community of Warsty. Looks fine. I could go ahead and build a port here, but I don't really need to right now. I think that's perfectly fine. Let's instead... Can I build while the city's under siege? I guess I technically can. I'm going to use the money to start doing some building in Asita right away. Now, what do I want to build first? There's a few options here. I could build another layer of a port, but I don't think that's really too necessary. It'll give me 1 more pop capacity, which, you know, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. Ship recruit speed buff of 15%, 2 extra civ level, a bit of migration attraction, plus 0.10, and plus 0.10 pop migration speed. I could also build a bazaar, 5 civ level, 100% local-based trade routes, and 10 citizen desired ratio. I think you see where this is going. We're already cranking up the stove, and the cooking will commence very soon. We're already at 25%. It's 785 in Bronze Age Reborn. This is the we're 8 months, almost 9 months into the first year, and we already have 25% civ ratio going on. And it's about to get even higher. But so the bazaar would give me more citizen ratio. We already have level 1 fort. Can't build more forts. Actually, we can build level 2 fort if we have a ton of gold, but we don't have that much gold. Training camp would give me more manpower and freeman desired ratio. 50% manpower to be particular, so we shouldn't overlook that. And 10% freeman desired ratio certainly isn't bad. The granary would give me plus 0.20% local pop growth, 10 civ level, and provincial food capacity, which certainly wouldn't hurt. The workshop would give me 1 more base resource production, which would mean we get fort defense surplus all the time, which would be quite nice. 5% local civ level and 10% slave desired ratio. Tolling station requires trade 2, so we're not even going to look at that right now. Peacekeepers wouldn't do too much since I already have full provincial loyalty, but it would give me reduced unrest, which would affect, because unrest does still happen in your provincial capital, it does still affect a bunch of modifiers, as you can see there, including promotion and demotion speed, and a bunch of other things too. The palace, we don't have the idea for, or the civ tech for, I should say. The foundry would give me slave desired ratio, 40% slave output, and 5% civ level. Sewage system we can't build yet. A scribe school we can't build yet. Garrison, which we got from the civ tech thing, would give me 50% fort defense, which would prevent this kind of situation from happening again. We'd have a lot more fort defense, and that's basically all I would do here. Harbor would give me 2 import routes and more citizen desired ratio, 10% to be particular, and 2 import routes. Temple would give me 4 base pop conversion speed and 5% citizen happiness. Theater would give me 2 base pop assimilation speed in this tile, 5% citizen and 5% noble happiness. The city infrastructure, the 1 repeatable building in Bronze Age for cities, would give me plus 0.01% pop growth and 2 pop capacity. And the shipyard, which is only 1 in Bronze Age per tile, per city tile, would give me 50% ship recruit speed, 5% civ level, and 35% ship starting experience. I think it's going to be between building a harbor, mostly for the citizen desired ratio, but the 2 import routes doesn't hurt, or the bazaar, 10% citizen desired ratio, 5% civ level, and 100% base trade routes. Now, I think that I'll get more trade routes by building the harbor, but I think I'd rather build the bazaar because I want the civ level bonus as well. And I mainly want the citizen desired ratio, to be honest. That's the main thing I want. So, let's build the bazaar. Although first, can I get anything? Probably not with the routes that I have available here, no. Okay, I can't get any build cost reduction stuff. That's completely fine. Let's just trade for livestock some more. Alright, let's go ahead and get the bazaar going. The extra citizen desired ratio will also help to continue improving my research rate, which has already started to improve a little tiny bit, though not much. Alright, let's go ahead and continue with the saving of Asita. Hopefully, if we don't win this fight, we may be in some trouble. We can reach Piemro. I don't know how on earth they're reaching me, but they want my salt. Okay, we're crossing the Mediterranean with this trade deal. So we'll go ahead and trade away the salt. That's completely fine. Yeah, we got double salt here. There we go. Battle of Asita. We are going to win, as expected, saving the people as we return from war. Very good. They're going to... I think we will actually follow them and try to fully kill them to steal their loot. I don't think they're going to have any because they just spawned, but may as well give this a go. And yeah, there we go. First victory off to a good start. We should, I think, stack wipe them up here in Dakam. We shall see. Battle of Dakam. No, it wasn't a stack wipe, but we'll be getting more military experience from this. Certainly doesn't hurt. Chase them into the forests of Sumalit. We're running out of places to go. Then it's just the mountains from there. Alright, there's the stack wipe. Very nice. And we can definitely lower and re-raise for a huge cohort boost. We will be doing this. Now, this says 5 months. I never trust these messages. I don't know if it's actually going to be 5 months. This means we won't be able to raise our levy on January 1st. It's going to be a little too soon. But it was worth it to kill those barbs, and now we can re-raise. Actually, I guess it rounded up to 6 months. So March of next year, we're going to be re-raising, unless we get attacked, in which case we'll be able to raise right away. But it's absolutely worth it to have 3 more cohorts to work with. So I'm more than happy with that. We're still building up our PI to be able to do our Divine Sacrifice. Okay, very good. All right, this is all looking very, very positive. Now, do I dissolve the alliance with Tula Hit now, or do I wait a little bit longer? I think I probably dissolve it now. The question, because then I have a 5-year truce. Now, they can attack me. It's a 5-year truce from me to them. It's not both directional, so they can attack me sooner. And they might do that because they have no other feasible targets. They can only go through me, and I'm not going to give them military access. But they might also not feel comfortable attacking me. They are able to look at my demographics and see that I've got about 50% or so more strength than they do. In fact, I technically have more than 50% more than they do. So unless they have an ally, they probably won't do it. But if they were to ally with Zarzuti, I would be a little hesitant. So what I might do, I just don't want to delay getting this population from my territory sooner rather than later. So let me just go ahead. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm feeling confident. I had a really strong opening war, played really well. I'm going to dissolve the alliance with Tula Hit. This may be a catastrophic misplay. Although, you know what? Hold on. Let me do this just a little bit more precisely than this. I'm going to declare my next war and then dissolve the alliance so that they don't join in with the next war. And the next war will probably be against Zarzuti. And then if they were to ally with like Tatawas, by that point I should be okay. So let's not go too crazy here. This is very hard difficulty, but also I can now, I don't think I missed any time there, that's fine. Decrease the pay, happier population. Also, I don't, I'm gonna keep my forts fully paid up. I'm nervous about being declared on. I guess I could do it in reaction to an alliance web forming, but it's not going to be a huge difference, and it's a massive effect on the forts. I'm just going to keep the fort maintenance paid for. Very hard difficulty. Oh, barbs. I totally forgot. Because I have barbs going on, I cannot mess around with fort goofiness. Oh, okay, so I actually cleared the barb power from Asita because I killed the barb sack that spawned here. Okay, that's good to see. So we will actually clear out the barb power here by having civ effort going, plus other things that give me more local civ level. That's important to see. Okay. I think I do probably want to clear out the barb power at the end of the day. Alright. So far, so good. A little bit of tyranny, but we're losing it nice and promptly. Okay. Off to a good start. Probably the most serious error I've made in this whole campaign is just pronouncing the name of my nation differently every time. I think Asita sounds the nicest to me. It has kind of that nice ring to it. I already have a lisp and I struggle to speak as it is, so don't want to make it harder on myself. Alright, Akura gains lustful. The appetites of Akura, the first Takis from men and women of all manner, are quite legendary in Asita. We seem to have lost count of the number of illegitimate children he has acquired. Interesting. Okay. Extra fertility and an amorous lifestyle has many benefits and many drawbacks. Akura only recognizes only the former. Alright, he's inspired by this campaign just as much as I am. Apparently they're not quite in the same way. He's going going to town on Yarawia. Now I could also do, no more colonization. I need to do the stability action first and foremost, and then I can do more colonization. Yeah. In fact, I probably should have held off on colonizing Adhesia, although it may be giving me my 7th cohort here, so maybe it was worthwhile. Hard to say in retrospect, you know, but I'm not going to replay the campaign just to see how it would have gone otherwise. I think having grabbed this when I did is perfectly fine. Plus, it will change the AI of any enemies. They're going to go and try and go for this as a provincial capital, so that's also perfectly fine, in my opinion. All right, here we go. Coming up on January 1st, 786. All right, the court speaks. Rhetoric and debate have raged for a full year. The court of Asita has reached a final stance on the matter of West Tadas. Drawing a sharp breath, the herald recites, "Protect the weak of West Tadas. We gain for 20 years, plus 4 dip rep, 10% improved opinion maximum, and 10% increased war score cost." Okay. We can now declare war on a number of our neighbors, but we don't have the levy available for it, so we need to wait. But we do have 50 PI exactly, which means Divine Sacrifice. 1st of January, 791 will be the date to remember, plus 0.15 monthly stab change in the meantime, but it will cost 50 PI. We need to go for this right away to get our stability under control. That's going to be very necessary. Not to mention, changing around our deities does cost stability, and we do want to do that when we can. Now, do I want to change any of my ideas at the moment? I think I probably want to keep... I could have technically... No, I couldn't have because it costs PI, so never mind. I keep forgetting that things cost PI, despite my best efforts to remember that very important fact. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed. Alright, March 22nd, or 21st, we will raise up our levy and prepare for war. We'll be declaring on Zarzuti, and then we'll break our alliance. Actually, we'll break our alliance with Tulahit and then declare on Zarzuti at the same time so that they don't ally with Zarzuti at the last moment. I think that's probably the best way to go about doing that. That's for sure. Our AE loss is also very, very low, only minus 0.03 per month, so we're going to really struggle to lose that AE. Having high tyranny would actually help with that, to be completely honest, so worth keeping in mind. 0.08 research at this point. This is already looking a lot better than what it was at the start. I think we doubled from when the campaign began, I should say. What's the reason for this? A couple more citizens. We have some nobles. Okay. Good. As our happiness increases, that'll also keep our population more productive. Could help with our research as well. Building a mine up here for the stone. Ooh, that's nice. I will happily take that over when I conquer you. Ooh, we actually lost one of our cohorts, but we also have a chariot now in our army. That is a bummer, but not too much I can do about that. These guys are fighting Parapalha and Gassati. Okay, we'll leave them to it. I could sneak in to try to grab some stuff, but I'll come back to that later. I may end up just fighting whoever takes that territory, if it's not these guys specifically. All right. Increase maintenance, and I might. Do I wait for the tick? I might need to. I could also try to bait them into attacking me at Warsi and then fighting them there. I'll be defending in farmland. Yeah, let me do that. I'm going to raise my forces. Let's see. Raise my forces at Yanati. Urbanize. This looks fine. Actually, you know what? Chariots are actually... Yeah, that's correct. Okay. And I'm going to declare the war... Okay, I'm going to do it like this. Dissolve the alliance with Tulahit. Alright. Now, I have a truce with them, but not the other way around, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to declare the war on Zarzuti to take Malati. Okay. And the reason I'm starting like this is that I actually want them to come to Warsti so I can fight them in good terrain where I control the defensiveness. I don't want to actually come and fight them in their mountain valley. I'm going to have the numbers advantage in a big way, but they have the... Oh my gosh. 11 martial on their tribal chief. Do they have like a tribal chief succession? I think they had a different character earlier. I'm not sure, but either way, they've got an 11 martial tribal chief, and they probably have crazy morale bonuses from that and from other sources. So we need every advantage possible for this next war here in the campaign. But that's going to be it for this episode of the Asita campaign. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.